Aloha gang, Dr. Russ Rosen here. Welcome to the OHC Club Masterclass, where we're not doing a masterclass this time. We're just doing Q&A. We have Dr. Jim Miller from down under, so New Zealand down there. Early in the morning for him. Talk to me, my brother. What's up?
Well, I'm just enjoying a good life, Russ. Hey, basically we've bought we bought a bioresonance machine and because I can't practice and basically I want to start a little stream of the business doing bioresonance. I'm going to get it up and running, and then I'm going to pass it on to my daughter. Um, uh, yeah, so that's about as far as I've gotten. I haven't trained on it yet. I've had a lot of experience being a client of a bioresonance, and it's worked incredibly well for me for some things. One thing that I really recognize is, y- like with chiropractic, people come in and whether they tell us what's wrong or they don't tell us what's wrong, it's pretty easy for us to figure it out. It's like, we get that we just get our intuition. Or these bioresonance machines, people got to kind of come in and tell you their complaints. And that's a real interesting one to me because I've always worked better if you just lay down and let me adjust you, and then if you still got a question at the end, let me respond to that. Let me narrate your experience of what I'm doing. But these bioresonance machines, they like do an energy balance. That's the first thing they do. And then then interestingly enough, the next step of this is quite a structural component. Like it goes TMJ, cervicals, sacrum. So in some sense, it's really kind of a straight like machine. And then it goes on to geopathic stresses, and then the list just goes. I guess there's thousands of different signs and symptoms and this, that, and the other. And it just dials it into the frequency. So it's more of a frequency machine that, puts the optimal frequency back into your body. Your body emits the frequency it has, and the machine reads it. Um, so I'm pretty geeked up about it, but I'm really geeked up about it. And we've bought one machine, and we might be buying another machine just because somebody in town's got one for sale that doesn't have the passion for it. Um, and yeah, I'm just interested to get your take on how I would incorporate this.
Yeah, beautiful. I can definitely help in this regard. So to be clear, bioresonance machine similar to a Vol machine kind of thing, similar. We're gonna, they're gonna put their hands in it or they're gonna touch different places. It's gonna read the vibrational frequency, and then it's gonna tell me underlying issues going on. It might tell me organs. It might tell me I have a virus. It might tell me there's brain inflammation. But some way, somehow, through the vibration of the body, it's going to be telling me information. And then we can come up with a kind of like a homeopathic remedy that would get the body to recognize the problem and start to do something about it. Is that true?
That's true. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And the particular name of this one is what?
It's a BICOM,
Okay.
BICOM. Yeah.
And is that more of the kind that I put my finger in something, or I'm going to take something and I'm going to touch different points on them?
You're going to take something and touch different points. Yeah, um, they're like 25,000 euros, so they're not cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they're,
I've done a lot of that work myself,
yeah.
having it done on me over the years and coached docs over the years. So here's the deal, and I know I'm going to step on toes when I say this, but if we as chiropractors could pull our heads out of our hmm, I'm looking for a nice word here, our cultural our our cultural BS, and we could just take a look at honesty of
Mm.
just how things work versus turf wars or the subluxation is the only thing and chiropractic is the only thing. And we're great at that. A lot of us born again chiropractors are great at that. I have been there myself. But if you just take a look at the philosophy of any of these versions of bioresonance, the system is not functioning at its optimum. It's not there's a certain resonance of health and there's a resonance of disease. If we can figure out where that pinch point is, where that subluxation is, where that problem is in the system, and then we can hold a mirror up and get the brain to recognize it, it could start to, its innate wisdom could start to do the things it needs to do to help the person, the innate healing power within the person to heal themselves. It's our philosophy. The only thing it did, it just doesn't have a bone out of place subluxation. It certainly has a disapparentation, disapparentation subluxation. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yep.
Okay. So I'm a huge fan of these things. And again, I know that there's so many in the just adjust model, and this is mixing and it's not chiropractic and blah, blah, blah. And again, it is not chiropractic. I get that. But if I
Yeah.
go under the umbrella, and I'm not saying this for you, Dr. Miller, because I know you know all this. We've had these conversations. I'm saying this for other people who might be listening, who are, I just had a conversation with a doctor yesterday about this, who's, you know, dipping her toe in the leaving the just adjust model, wanting to add some nutrients, some brain-based work, some blah blah blah. But she feels like she's a leper with her close friends, you know. But if you just take a look at what is my goal, help people get healthy, stay healthy, have the best life possible. How am I going to do it? I want to make sure the nervous system is functioning at its optimum. I'm going to help them eat better, exercise, deal with stress. All right, well, let's take a look at this one. There's a lot of different ways to do that. There's a lot of different techniques. So here's a question. Back in the BJ day, would BJ be okay with adjusting the atlas?
Absolutely.
Okay. During some years, would he also be happy adjusting the sacrum?
Yep.
Okay. Would he be happy if it was a foot adjustment that allowed everything to reset?
Well, you'd hope so, but I don't know. But
Yeah,
it's,
it depends what year. Yeah, it
yeah.
depends what year. But yes, he was way ahead of his time on technology. The
Mm.
neuropentathograph machine. I mean, that was like an early EMG thermograph, or substation kind of thing, mentipograph, whatever that was. So if I go under here and I say, okay, now I can do something that's going to read the system and see where the imbalances are and hold a mirror up. Literally, the wave is this of disease, and the opposite of that wave will cause that to shift and go into health. Okay, so for those of us who go, oh, you can't do that, blah blah blah, and I get it. You want to call it you don't want to call it chiropractic. I get it because it's not. But can I practice that way because I want to help people get healthy and stay healthy? And the truth is, if I'm using this, we've got a way better chance of them resolving some issues than if we don't use it. For me, I'm a big fan of it. I also am a big fan of I just adjust and I refer for that. I don't want to do it under my roof, but I want somebody else to do it. All right. So I just had to get the headspace clear on that. Okay. Now we can look at procedure. Any challenges with any of what I just said?
No, no, no. It's perfect because we have the Kairos, and then my daughter, she's not a Kairos, so that's easy. Um, yeah, it's
So
great.
you can do this. And this stuff is done right by a skillful practitioner. This stuff is absolute magic.
Mm.
And it works really well with chiropractic, right? There are just certain things that are going to respond better to this than that. There's certain things that this is going to really help that will quit recreating the same subluxation over and over again. Do you keep banging away on the same thing? It's not resolving. Okay, so how do we bring it into our practice? And how do we, let's say, we'll talk about how to bring it into practice in a minute. Well, so I'm making notes so I don't forget. Bring in. Okay, bring in. Um, what's the difference between running a bioresonance and a chiropractic practice? The answer to that is just about nothing.
Mm.
Just about nothing. The consultation is going to be almost exactly the same. Now, in this particular bioresonance machine, if you did not know their history, could you still do the exam?
Yeah, you could, but these guys got like a 9-page freaking health history form.
And does that change the exam?
I don't think it changes the exam, no.
My point.
Mm,
My point. It's very similar. So think of that exam, doot, 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 on the different acupoints,
mhm,
usually. Think of that exam as somebody palpating for subluxation. Does it help if you know their history? Yeah. Does it help if you know the history? Yeah. Now, these people go way more into depth on that
mm.
for whatever reasons they choose to do that. And I think it's a good thing to do. I think it's really good understanding all that. But realistically, build rapport. Okay, build rapport, chiropractic, build rapport by residents. Yes, relieve concerns. Find out exactly why they're here, right? Diagnosis, lack of diagnosis, pain, how does it affect their life? Three dimensions of stress, classic hope. Is there anything different in the consult? No.
Nope.
So you may want to have them fill out this questionnaire ahead of time and go into extreme detail about some of those things, and you may not. Totally up to you, just for fun. Um, one of the QNRT doctors that I coach um, started off with, I can't trust any of my exam. And then we got him into QNRT and blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, well, I absolutely trust my exam, to the point that he started telling people, you filled out your history and I haven't read it yet. And I don't want you to tell me anything. What I want to do is my exam, and then let me tell you what I find, and then we'll talk about your history. And it was so powerful for him because he finally got, I can tell them what's going on with them. I'm right about 100% of the time. And then he said, no, I think it's about you understanding ahead of time, blah, blah, blah. So we went back to that. But really, you could do this exam and find out what's going on and tell them what's going on, just like you could do touch, tell, ask, teach and do your subluxation. Okay, so far so good?
Yep.
All right. Touch, tell, ask, teach. Boop, 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 boop. Right? Those are the same whole story. Whole story. So
Mm.
where are your imbalances? Where are your subluxations? What could they be causing? So personally, I would have and I do with all the docs that I coach, I do things other than just straight chiropractic. I would get a form exactly like this with the exact, is this just a symptom or is it a real health problem? I would have the basic premise behind it. I would have the whole story right there. And I would have a picture of all of the points that you could then go through and circle and underline all their issues. Okay?
Yep.
Exam. Exactly the same. Got it?
Yeah.
Report of findings, quick review. Can we help? Before I clarify how long it can take, we need to clarify what it is that you want. Like, do you get that all of that is exactly the same?
Oh, that's what's been going through my head. It's like, okay, well, palpation or the beep, 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 beep. So that's, to me, that's perfect. Touch, tell, ask, teach. That's a part that I'd missed. The chart. I'm always on to the chiros. Look, just talk about the chart. Stop talking about why is my pain still there. Talk about the chart. And so that's music to my ears. I love the chart.
Yeah,
I think
beautiful.
I think the team thinks it's like imprinted into my brain or something, but if they just use it, it would be in theirs too.
Absolutely. And then, realistically, it's such a powerful thing to be able to say, well, what level of health do you want to get to? So how will we know when we get there? Because I'm going to go beep, 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 and all of these are going to show clear, or as clear as we can get you. Your x-rays as clear as we can get you. Like I'm just saying, there's no difference. The
Hmm.
acupuncturist I coach, it's the exact same thing, right? The spit, pee, and poop docs, the blood work docs, there's nothing different. Okay, now you have two choices. We'll get back. All right, so we're good on that, correct?
Yep, yep, all
All right.
good. That's sounded great.
You have two choices. We can run a chiropractic practice and a bioresonance practice, or we can run a health and wellness practice and we do whatever that person in front of us needs. You can market for this and have them also do this. You can market for this and have them also do that. You can draw a line and never shall the two meet. I don't recommend that, but doctors do that. Again, this is the same if you were using Shockwave. It's the same as if you're doing neurofeedback. Like for my brain-based doctors, it doesn't matter. The question is, how do you want to practice? So would you like these people to be doing this and vice versa?
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. Well, because my daughter, she's not a trained chiropractor, so it's not like she can,
No, what I'm saying is the people who are under chiropractic care, would you like some of them to be doing bio?
oh, absolutely. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of spillover.
Okay, so in this office, our goal is to help you get as healthy as you can. What we do is check one to make sure you're getting proper nerve supply, and two, we check your bioresonance. We then clarify what you need. Some people need this, some people don't. Some people need this, some people don't. Some people need both. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah.
I want to dive a little bit more deeper into this for everybody listening, and this may actually be valuable for you too, Jim. There's a guy that I coach uh, named Dr. Gack, and I'm going to say his name because he knows that I'm going to be interviewing him on this. And there's like the triad of health, mental, emotional, biochemical, physical, and in his world, we came up with the STAR. So he's got brain and neurofeedback, emotions, and QNRT, and nutrition and blah blah blah. But he's got the STAR. So in his talks and in when you come and see him, he's very clear about these are the aspects of what can cause disease and what can help you get healthy. Mental, emotional, biochemical, physical. Try to help the STAR, five, whatever it is. What you're paying me for is to know specifically why you have this symptom going on. So in his healthcare talk, we just went through this. How many of you have fatigue? How many of you have this? How many of you have that? Okay, so fatigue. What could be the cause of fatigue? Well, it could be your diet. It could be a nutritional imbalance. It could be a subluxation. It could be a neuroemotional complex. It could be, right? So he goes through the five and he helps them understand that the alarm that's going off could be caused by any of these different things. The question is, which one is going on with you? So in this class, we have 10 people here. Y'all have fatigue going on, but you don't have the same problem. Therefore, your solutions aren't the same. What you're paying me for is to clarify the solution. You're paying me to clarify what's the problem so we can come up with a solution to your alarm that's going off. Because a dozen different things can cause fatigue. So far, so good.
Yep.
So
Yep.
as far as you guys go, you can get really clear on these are the things we do. So if you are doing lifestyle advice, that would be in there. If you're talking nutrition, that would be in there. Certainly, you're talking nervous system and correction. I want to see the X-rays change, right? And you can also be going into this bioresonance, saying It's helping us get to the underlying issues, right, along with what's going on in the nervous system. So if you remember Fred Barge's one cause, one cure, the one cause, one cure was not the subluxation. It was the inability to adapt to stress. The subluxation is an effect. It's not a cause, right? For a lot of chiropractors, they don't get that. But the subluxation isn't the cause. It is an effect. It now causes all kinds of problems. Same thing. So if for you and I, just in our world, if somebody has a congested gallbladder and T4, T5 is really subluxated and you adjust it, but they keep eating McDonald's, does your adjustment ever hold?
Nope.
It can't. It can't. You're banging your head against the wall, you keep getting headaches. If I could come in with this and I could clarify some of the underlying issues, why your system is in a state of defense physiology, and we can be resetting this while we're resetting that, could we get better results?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's your story, right? That's your story. That's what separates you from the herd. All right. So, what is bioresonance?
Wow. I really liked your analogy of, I got the wavelength thing, so I'm good with that. So, we got the health wavelength, we got the dis-ease wavelength, and if we can put a mirror up, that's the part that I was missing. If we could put a mirror up so your body can recognize, whoa, hold on a second, just like we do with an adjustment, and the body can reboot itself, well, then it can start to throw off healthy waves as opposed to dis-eased waves. Um, so the machine is just a tool to help your body recognize, just it's poor disease wavelengths.
Thank you. Yeah. And by the way, who did I steal that from? Whose model is that?
Um, well, I think that's just one of those bioresonance things. It's just a physics thing.
Okay. But I specifically stole that from homeopathy
Okay, yeah, 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 cool.
because
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Which I
homeopathy.
think I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that these machines are.
Yeah,
Um,
right, right. That's the point, right? So that there's, and again, I can't think of it. It's the what's the machine? Oh god, it was around in the 60s and 70s. There was a lot of it going on.
it was a Rife machine.
Right, thank you. Yeah, so there are things like energy enhancement system. I have one of those here. Um, it is not doing right. It is not clarifying you have a bacteria, and therefore we're going to give you the opposite frequency that's going to help with that bacteria. This just sets up a bioresonance of health.
Mm,
Okay. Anybody in this field, it's going to cause a bioresonance. It has a stronger, click, click, click. They all start clicking together. It is stronger than yours. It's going to get you right. That's a version of reality. And then there is any of these, Rife or Vol or this particular one, whatever, where they're coming in and they're saying we're actually going to take a look at the thing that's not healthy in you, the unhealthy frequency, and then we're going to hold up that mirror with the it's 45 degrees off, right?
mm.
So it's just gonna it's that I forget the word for it, but it's that opposite sync. And then the system goes, oh, I see that, and then you can start to do something about it. It's not like giving you a drug that's causing something. It's literally just causing you to be aware so you can do something about it. It's exactly the chiropractic philosophy of innate intelligence being able to do the healing. Okay, so cool. So now you've got your chiropractic wrap, which is clean. And you'll work on this, but you'll get your bioresonance wrap down. And you're going to want to have a handout for that, just like you have for this and what is bioresonance and all that. And then you may or may not, I am going to suggest that you do, is you have something that shows how they work together and why in this office, we don't just do one or the other. We look at what is specifically going on with you. You may need this, you may need that, you may need both so that we can best help you get from point A to point B in the fastest period of time. Now you got something.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I was keeping them as two separate businesses, but I'm seeing the value in putting them together. I'll have to I have to tease that one out because I haven't figured that one out. Um, and if I tell the chiros, hey, look, I'm bringing this machine in and I'm going to test them for the machine and test them for chiropractic, they
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Now there's a couple of different versions of reality for that.
yeah.
One is somebody comes in, a regular chiropractic patient, and all we do is a chiropractic evaluation.
Mm,
We can say, we do notice these other things going on. We're going to go ahead and do X number of adjustments, and then I want to do this other evaluation on you. The truth is, and this is what you're going to find, if I can just get a dozen visits under our belt, if you do a bioresonance evaluation here and you do one here, more often than not, it's really going to change by the time it gets here because they're already starting to get healthy, right? It's the same thing as if I did a nutritional evaluation. The amount of nutrients they might need here versus 12 visits down the road usually is very different, unless, of course, nutrients was their main issue, unless, of
mm.
course, the bioresonant issue was their main issue. So one is I do this, and then I give reason to do it down here. Now you let them know along the way if all this stuff starts changing, we probably don't need to do that evaluation, but you can build it into the report of findings.
Okay, cool.
This is exactly the same for doctors who do CRA or NRT doing nutritional testing. At the beginning, people are coming in for chiropractic, but you can see, God, if they would just get on the nutrients, it would be so much better. So you can start to do this. Now, eventually, what's going to happen, it happened to me, is people will start coming into your practice saying, you're not going to just adjust me, are you? You're also going to do that nutritional evaluation because Sally said that that's the main thing that really helped was by doing them both together. So just keep an eye out that most likely will start to happen. And if that happens, then no question, what I want to do is a healthcare talk that they come to first. They understand, oops, this, they understand this, they understand bioresonance, and they understand, just like with the star, anything can cause anything, anything can cure anything. We just need to figure out your anything. And therefore, when you come, we do a very thorough chiropractic evaluation and bioresonance evaluation. I wouldn't start there, but if you're doing a good job, you will end up there. Does that
Sounds
make
good.
sense?
Yeah. I like that. I like that because there is a component of the machine, not the machine, but there's another, of course, there's another add-on machine that's a diagnostic only. And it's got like a 5 minute, a 10 minute, or a 30 minute diagnostic thing. So that could be an
Dude,
easy.
dude,
Yeah.
those are just they're goose that lays the golden egg. Um, to be able to have your daughter, who is your daughter's position. Usually, you don't have to pay as much as a chiropractor. I don't know what you're going to pay your daughter, but I'm just saying for the rest of you listening,
Yeah.
a non licensed person, if they can be doing scans on people, it's not taking the doctor's time. That's telling us great information that might get them into the program. What's the value of that? Going to anywhere, going to businesses, going to clubs, going to teams, going to that type of diagnostics. Again, you and I have talked about this. I have so many doctors who've told me I can't get my Medicare patients, so Medicare United States is, older insurance. I can't get my Medicare patients to pay a $12 copay, but they'll give me $6,000 cash. They'll literally come in with a cigar box full of cash to pay for this technology, right? They'll pay for decompression, whatever. Obviously, you're not communicating things well enough if that's happening, but it's really common for that to happen. This type of technology where she can do those kinds of screenings on people,
Mm. Yeah, I'm pretty excited, and it's a big opportunity for her. So she's been one of the because we got three tech CAs that obviously they don't work all at the same time, but so she's been the tech CA I think for 3 or 4 years now. So highly intelligent. I think she'll be more than capable.
Beauty, beauty. All
Mm.
right, so you can see that that's how those kind of play together.
Yeah.
Now, most of the, oh, you did say this. Okay, so most of the ones that I've worked with, they also have a structural um, file. So you're
Mm.
bringing up all these different files. Is this bacterial? Is it, virus? Is it a organ issue? Is it a structural, spine issue? Blah, blah, blah. So when those things come up, obviously, those people need to get that done. Right.
Yeah.
Well, so you can see how that works really well. And obviously, these people that have other things also, and you're doing your touch the last teach, I do have gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn. This area isn't resolved, blah, blah, blah. So to me, I really want these under one roof eventually.
Mm.
All right. So how do we bring people in for this? This is so simple. Most likely you'll never need to do anything than the first phase. Okay. So the first phase is cherry cherry pick people inside your practice and let them know I am so excited because I am bringing in this particular technology that has helped me so much over the years. I want you to get an evaluation, right? I want you to get on that list because it's going to blow up and it's going to be a 2 or 3 month wait list before you can get checked. So you're my buddy. I love you. You're my inner circle. So you just start with your inner circle and you start there. You go to your next level of circle. I now grand open it. So I grand open it, balloons, big flyers, blah, blah, and a talk. Your daughter is giving a talk on the subject. Whoever, probably you, but somebody else could do it, would introduce it, why this is so important, how it fits into the chiropractic piece. But why we're so excited about this, we give everybody there a special opportunity to get checked and their friends and family. And now we go to our entire email list, right? So depending upon, like, if you can have 20 people, in your talk, then you do several of those until you finally went out to the entire list, or just rent out a hall and have a couple hundred people at it. The more the merrier. That's really powerful. So that's
Mm.
that's phase one of how that works. So far, so good.
Yep. Yep.
Phase two is marketing outside of the practice. I don't think you'll ever have to do that, but just think about what is it really good at, and where are those tribe leaders? Go to those tribe leaders and set up screenings, talks and screenings. So I've had a lot of doctors that do, like the substation, and they'll go to gyms and they'll do screenings at the gyms. What I used to do with my local gym was they got really great results with me, blah, blah, blah. When they started with a new person in the gym and they did a lot of private training, part of their sign up process was to come get a sub scan from me. So they met with me. I talked about what was going on, and I approved them that they were ready to start working out. Right. So I taught the instructors there, like, if you see a lot of electromyograph going on here, don't have them pull anything behind their head. They're going to blow their neck out, right? If they had a lot going on in the lower area. So blah, blah, blah. So I'm just saying, like, you can see that all of the areas that you could play with this, it's never ending.
Yeah. 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 Cool. Yeah. That's
Good on
awesome.
that.
Yeah, good on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we used to have a bioresonance therapist in the office for many years, so she moved out of the office, and now she's moved back into the office, and she's kind of selling us her business. Plus, she's doing mentoring for the next year, and then obviously we have some training to do too. Um, so we're already starting with a bit of a base, but. I, well, and 30 years ago when I started seeing people at other clinics, and then you kind of, you get some leftover patients and you build your own patients. I don't know, man. It's so we're going to get some leftover patients from somebody that's had some that's technically really good, but has used patients for her social entertainment and developed some bad habits of just sitting in a room for the whole session. And it's kind of like, well, that's just not healthy. So
No,
it'd be fun. It'd be real
but,
fun.
but you got a base, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got a
yeah.
base.
We got a base. Yeah, we got a
Yeah.
base. It's been in the office before, so the practitioners are all good. And we do have a hub. We got acupuncturists, massage people, counselors. We even got an osteopath in the office. So they all run their separate businesses. So we do have the hub. Um,
And they can all
it's,
refer to that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think the good thing about the price point of 25,000 euros plus, but that's just a machine. That's not all the little vials, and you got a freaking couple dozen trays of those things, and those are €1,000 a tray. Um, it's one of those things that most people aren't gonna invest in that to get into it. Um, I don't think at least, but we did. So, but
It,
we've had the experience and we have the base, we can one, we're taking over Sandra's clients, and then two, we got all our cherry picking of our ideal clients that, may be suitable.
it's done right. This thing will really help people, and it's a cash cow.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I personally, I would love you to have 15 of those machines that are
Mm.
working 24/7, right? So,
Help a lot of
and
people.
then there's specific nutrients that they're taking, and I mean, there's all kinds of different things that it can do. I want to just point this out to you because I don't know if you saw the video I posted yesterday on this subject, but I believe there is no question right now. And again, I'm just going to say, um, RFK, love him or hate him, I love him. But
Same.
you're welcome to hate him.
Hmm.
I'm not in any way talking about politics in any way right now. What I am saying is that in the United States right now, there are more people that are thinking about the healthcare system, which is a disease care system, is broken. They're thinking about the food that they're eating, the toxins, poisons, chemicals, corn syrup, soil. There's more. There was a Senate hearing on this. The Kelly and Kelly Means, Tucker Carlson interview went viral. RFK and all the things he's been talking about. There are more people right now thinking about that than ever before. God willing, RFK gets in his HHS, right? I literally pray twice a day for that. If that happens, there is no question in my mind. I mean, just imagine if we go back to before the, I think, late 70s, early 80s, if in the United States is not allowed to have drug companies do commercials for their stuff anymore. Just imagine what would happen because their money wouldn't be affecting the news channels,
Mhm.
right? So I mean, just like the whole everything can change in a way that we've been beating this drum. I know you have, and I have myself since 1985. The whole thing can change. Okay, so if that's true, and it is, you've got the masses of people out there. We always used to talk about this. If everyone knew what we did, there wouldn't be enough chiropractors, right? All the seminars we talk about that. If everybody all of a sudden in the United States knew about this, does that affect New Zealand?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
It affects everywhere, right?
Hmm.
All right. So here's the question. If everybody really got this and they really started looking outside of the disease care system for somebody who could actually help them get healthy and stay healthy, could you handle the load? No,
No, no,
you,
no
you
way.
couldn't. So one of the things I'm going to be doing a video on this, I won't go through it all right now, but one of the brilliant things that medical doctors do, and they do a lot of brilliant things, thank God for them, in the disease care system, definitely not in the healthcare system, but certainly the crisis care system. And I wouldn't be alive without it. So thank them. One of the things you're great at is groups of people, specialties, you know, They don't, each one of them doesn't try and be everything to everybody, which we do. So you got an office under one roof. You have an acupuncturist, an osteopath, bioresonance person, three chiropractors, blah, blah, blah. You start to immediately become the go-to place, right? And personally, we've got the chiropractic umbrella, we've got the umbrella over that, and we help people get healthy and stay healthy. And we're going to include bioresonance. We've got this one, which is I don't care what helps someone get better. We're going to do whatever we need to do. And we've got all these different lenses through which we can look at reality. Eventually, I believe that that's what's going to come for the natural healthcare providers. And you're well on your way to doing that
Mm.
if we can all work together and not worry about turf wars.
Well, and my mantra's always been, look, there's more than enough patients out there. Just, share be clear on what your energy is, and you'll attract yours, and everybody will attract theirs if we're fighting over the scraps. No, no, we gotta rise above that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun. It's an interesting thing. I have several doctors I'm working with right now, and I've been doing this drawing for them. Dr. Geck happens to be one of them, the guy I was talking about. The drawing goes like this. Where he's at right now is he uses neurofeedback and he uses a couple of different things, blah, blah, blah. But he can't do any more of these people because he can't adjust enough people.
Mm.
He can't handle any more people. And so he's the pinch point right there. But if we recognize that if they're doing neurofeedback and if they're doing the appropriate nutrients and then they're doing bioresonance and if they're doing all these things, should they then need a lot less care from you? Yes, they should need a lot less care from you, a fraction of that. So now, can we have all of these things going that are really helping people? And I come in and I do the very specific things that they need, but they just don't need as much care from me. It's just a whole different model. And in
Mhm.
this model, in this model right now, the last thing he is saying is turf war. I
Mhm.
don't, I'm afraid of other people. It's like he's like, I can't.
Mhm.
I can't work any more hours. I can't, right? So I believe that that's what's coming for us natural healthcare providers. If I put on my crystal ball glasses, and I think it's coming really quick. And if Kennedy gets confirmed in the next week here, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen fast.
Mhm.
I think people are going to know about this. They're going to be looking, and all we have to do is put it out there. Just let people know what we do, and quit shooting ourselves in the foot, and be honest with them.
Mhm.
And we can never handle the load.
No, no. No. Well, and that's the blessing of the people that have trained, so you have good, clear communication. Obviously, you got a good heart and good hands, but you got to be able to communicate when the masses flock to you, or when anybody does. And obviously, clearing the head's real important.
Absolutely. All right, my brother. Well, that was a deep dive.
That was awesome. That was great, Russ. Really appreciate it, man.
We're
Yeah,
good.
we're great. Yeah, yeah, great. Yeah, mighty
Always,
good.
always good to see you, my brother.
Great to see you, buddy. Be well. Lots of
Rest of
love.
you, aloha gang.